Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about a power greater than anything you have ever experienced, a power that can transform your life from the inside out. This power is faith. Faith is not just a simple belief or wishful thinking. Faith is the foundation upon which miracles are built, the anchor that holds us steady when storms rage all around us. It is the quiet confidence that no matter what challenges or hardships we face, there is a purpose, a hope, and a light shining in the darkness. Many walk through life burdened by fear, doubt, and despair. They feel trapped by circumstances beyond their control, weighed down by failures, or lost in confusion. But I tell you today, faith can break those chains. Faith can lift you from the depths of despair to the heights of peace and joy. When you embrace faith, you are not left to face life alone. You step into a relationship with a loving power that promises to never abandon you no matter what. That power will guide you through the valleys, carry you over the mountains, and restore what has been lost. Faith changes the way you see your problems. Instead of being overwhelmed, you begin to see opportunities for growth. Instead of feeling hopeless, you find strength to persevere. Instead of living in fear, you experience courage like you never thought possible. But faith is not passive. It calls us to action, to trust, to step forward even when the path is unclear. It requires us to open our hearts and say, I believe, even when I cannot see. And when we do, we unlock a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. I urge you, don't wait for circumstances to be perfect. Don't wait for every question to be answered. Begin today by putting your faith into motion. Let it reshape your thinking, your decisions, your relationships, and your future. The power of faith will change your life forever, because faith connects you to a source of strength and love that never fails. It brings hope where there was none, light where there was darkness, and new beginnings where there was despair. Believe in this power. Let it renew your heart and transform your life. And watch as doors open, burdens lift, and joy floods in like never before. Faith is a transformative power that has the ability to change lives in ways that nothing else can. It is not simply a fleeting feeling or a vague hope. It is a deep, abiding force that reaches into the core of who we are and reshapes our understanding, our emotions, and our actions. When faith takes root in the heart, it brings about a transformation that touches every aspect of life, mind, body, and spirit. At its essence, faith is the belief in something beyond ourselves, something greater that can guide us through life's uncertainties and difficulties. This belief is not blind or naive. Rather, it is grounded in trust, confidence, and hope. It gives us a new lens through which to view the world. Problems that once seemed overwhelming begin to look like challenges that can be overcome. Despair gives way to hope, and fear is replaced by courage. This shift in perspective alone can be life-changing, because how we see our circumstances often determines how we respond to them. Faith also has the power to heal. It can mend broken hearts, soothe anxious minds, and bring peace to troubled souls. When people hold on to faith, they find a refuge in the midst of chaos and pain. This refuge is not an escape from reality, but a source of strength to face reality head-on. Faith invites us to believe that no matter how difficult life becomes, there is a purpose and a plan that can lead us through the darkest valleys. This assurance can steady a person's heart and calm their spirit, allowing them to endure hardship with grace. Moreover, faith transforms us from the inside out by inspiring action. It moves us beyond passive acceptance to active trust. It challenges us to step forward even when the way is unclear, to take risks that align with our beliefs, and to live with integrity and purpose. This active expression of faith is what creates real change, not only in our own lives, but also in the lives of those around us. When faith motivates us, we become agents of hope, compassion, and courage in a world that desperately needs them. Another important aspect of faith's transformative power is its ability to connect us to something greater than ourselves. This connection reminds us that we are part of a larger story, one that extends beyond our individual struggles and success. Feeling linked to a higher power, a divine presence, or a greater good gives life a deeper meaning and invites us to live in alignment with values such as love, kindness, and justice. This connection enriches our lives and encourages us to look beyond our own needs to serve others and contribute to the world in meaningful ways. Faith also encourages perseverance. When challenges arise, it is easy to give up, become discouraged, or lose hope. But faith strengthens the spirit to endure, to keep moving forward even when the path is difficult or uncertain. It reminds us that setbacks are temporary and that persistence can lead to breakthrough. This resilience builds character and shapes us into stronger, wiser individuals. Lastly, faith transforms our identity. It invites us to see ourselves not just as victims of circumstance, but as beloved individuals with purpose and potential. It helps us discover our true worth and encourages us to live in a way that reflects that truth. This renewed sense of identity empowers us to make choices that align with our values and aspirations, shaping a life that is authentic and fulfilling. In all these ways, faith is a power unlike any other. It changes how we think, feel, and act. It heals and restores. It connects and inspires. It strengthens and empowers. When embraced fully, faith becomes the foundation for a life transformed, one filled with hope, purpose, and lasting peace. Faith provides hope and strength in a way that no other source can truly match. When life's storms gather and the weight of troubles presses down, faith stands as a beacon of light that cuts through the darkness. It offers a profound assurance that no matter how difficult or overwhelming the circumstances may be, there is a reason to keep going and a power ready to sustain us. This hope is not a mere wish or fleeting optimism. It is a confident expectation rooted in something steadfast and unchanging. Hope born from faith lifts the human spirit out of despair. When we face setbacks, loss, or uncertainty, it is natural to feel overwhelmed by fear or doubt. Yet faith breathes life into the soul by reminding us that these moments are not the end of our story. It reassures us that beyond the pain and struggle lies a greater purpose and a brighter future. This hope shines like a guiding star, encouraging us to press forward even when the path is unclear or fraught with obstacles. Strength flows naturally from this hope. When we have faith, we tap into a wellspring of inner power that helps us endure hardship. This strength is not about physical might or stubbornness, but is a deep resilience that sustains us through trials. It enables us to stand firm in the face of adversity, to rise each time we fall, and to carry burdens that would otherwise crush us. Faith gives us the courage to meet each new day with determination, knowing that we are not alone and that a higher power is working on our behalf. Moreover, faith's hope and strength transform the way we experience suffering. Instead of feeling helpless or defeated, those who hold on to faith often discover a sense of peace amid pain. They find comfort in the belief that their struggles have meaning and that they are being shaped by their experience. This perspective does not minimize the difficulty of life's challenges, but rather provides a source of endurance that enables them to overcome and grow through hardship. Faith also encourages us to keep looking forward rather than becoming trapped in the past. When disappointment or failure threatens to define us, faith helps us lift our eyes to what lies ahead. It fosters a hopeful mindset that sees setbacks as temporary and growth as possible. This outlook fuels perseverance and inspires us to continue striving toward our goals and dreams, even when progress seems slow or uncertain. The strength that comes from faith is also communal. It draws people into supportive relationships, where encouragement and love flourish. When faith is shared, it builds bonds that help carry each other through difficult times. This shared strength fosters a sense of belonging and reminds us that we are not isolated in our struggle. Together, hope becomes a collective force that uplifts communities and inspires acts of kindness and generosity. Additionally, faith's hope gives meaning to life's uncertainties. In moments of confusion or fear about the future, faith provides a steady foundation on which to stand. It reassures us that there is a plan and a purpose beyond what we can immediately see. This trust in a greater design eases anxiety and instills confidence that even setbacks serve a higher good. Faith also empowers us to face the unknown with confidence. When we cannot control what lies ahead, faith allows us to surrender our fears and rest in the assurance that we will be given the strength needed for each step. This surrender is not weakness, but a courageous acknowledgement that true strength comes from reliance on something beyond ourselves. Ultimately, faith's gift of hope and strength transforms lives. It equips us to endure hardships without losing heart, to embrace challenges without despair and to move forward with courage and joy. It offers a light that never dims, a rock that never fails, and a peace that surpasses understanding. When faith fills our hearts, hope becomes our companion and strength our constant support, enabling us to live boldly and confidently in every circumstance. Faith is a profound connection that links the human heart to a loving, unfailing source, a source that never wavers, never abandons, and never fails. This connection is unlike any other relationship we experience in life because it is rooted in unconditional love, infinite mercy, and unwavering presence. When faith brings us into this connection, it transforms not only how we see the world, but how we experience our very existence. At the core of this connection is the understanding that we are not alone. Life can often feel isolating, filled with moments when we question our worth, or feel overwhelmed by challenges. But through faith we recognize that there is a constant companion who walks beside us through every trial, every joy, and every unknown path. This loving presence does not judge or condemn but embraces us fully, offering comfort and peace, even in the most difficult times. This unfailing source is a refuge, a safe harbor where our fears can be laid down and our burdens lifted. When the pressures of life weigh heavily, faith invites us to lean into this divine support, knowing that we can rest and be renewed. It is a relationship built on trust that no matter what happens, we are held and cherished beyond measure. This trust grows over time, deepening with every experience of grace, every answered prayer, and every quiet moment of assurance. Faith also connects us to a source of boundless love. Unlike human love, which can falter or fail, this love is perfect and everlasting. It reaches beyond our flaws and mistakes, accepting us as we are and inviting us to grow into the fullness of who we were created to be. This love empowers us to forgive ourselves and others, to extend kindness even when it is difficult, and to live with a generosity of heart that reflects the love we have received. Furthermore, this connection provides guidance. When we face uncertainty or confusion, faith opens a channel through which wisdom and clarity flow. It helps us discern the right path when the way forward is not clear. This guidance is not always loud or dramatic. Often it comes as a still small voice within, a gentle prompting that aligns us with truth and purpose. By listening to this voice, we find direction that leads us toward peace and fulfillment. Faith also offers a sense of belonging to something greater than ourselves. It reminds us that our lives are part of a grand design, woven into a tapestry far beyond what we can fully comprehend. This connection to a higher power invites us to live with humility and reverence, knowing that our actions matter and that we are called to serve a purpose beyond our own desires. It fills us with awe and gratitude, inspiring us to contribute positively to the world around us. In addition, the connection established through faith brings profound peace. It is a peace that transcends circumstances and defies logic, a calm assurance that no matter what storms arise, we are held secure. This peace guards our hearts and minds, preventing despair from taking root and allowing hope to flourish. It becomes a steady foundation that sustains us through life's most difficult moments. This loving, unfailing source also invites transformation. As we deepen our connection through faith, we begin to reflect the qualities of love, mercy, and grace in our own lives. We become more patient, compassionate, and forgiving, mirroring the nature of the one to whom we are connected. Our relationships improve, our attitudes shift, and our sense of purpose grows stronger. Ultimately, faith is the bridge that connects our fragile humanity to an eternal and perfect love. It reassures us that we are never forgotten or forsaken. This connection changes how we face the future, how we handle setbacks, and how we embrace joy. It becomes the wellspring from which we draw strength, courage, and hope every day. Through faith, we are anchored in love that never fails, empowering us to live with confidence and peace, no matter what life brings. Faith changes your perspective in ways that profoundly affect how you experience every moment of life. It shifts the lens through which you view your circumstances, your challenges, and even yourself. When faith takes hold, it invites you to see beyond the immediate, to look past temporary difficulties, and to embrace a larger, more hopeful vision of reality. Before faith, it's easy to be consumed by worry, fear, or frustration. When things don't go as planned, problems can feel insurmountable, and setbacks may appear as the end of the road. But faith offers a fresh way to interpret these events. It encourages you to understand that life's struggles are often part of a greater journey, one that is unfolding with purpose even when you cannot see it. This change in perspective
turns obstacles into opportunities, losses into lessons, and failures into stepping stones for growth. When faith alters your viewpoint, you begin to recognize that your worth and identity are not tied to external circumstances. You no longer measure your value solely by achievements, possessions, or the approval of others. Instead, faith reveals that you are inherently valuable and loved, regardless of success or failure. This realization brings freedom and peace, freeing you from the constant pressure to prove yourself or control every outcome. Faith also helps you to develop patience and endurance. When you believe that there is a meaningful plan at work, you learn to wait with hope rather than despair. This waiting is not passive resignation, but an active trust that the timing of life's events is in the hands of a wise and loving power. This patience transforms anxiety into calm, allowing you to face uncertainty with confidence rather than fear. In addition, faith shifts your perspective on sufferings. Instead of viewing pain and hardship as meaningless or purely negative, faith invites you to see them as opportunities for growth, refinement, and deeper understanding. Challenges become a refining fire, shaping your character and strengthening your spirit. This new outlook transforms suffering from something to avoid at all costs into something that, while difficult, can produce greater resilience, compassion, and wisdom. Faith also expands your vision of what is possible. It encourages you to hope beyond what you can see or comprehend. Where doubt might cause you to give up, faith empowers you to believe in outcomes that seem unlikely or impossible. This belief opens doors to new possibilities and inspires boldness in pursuing dreams and goals. Faith fuels optimism and creativity, reminding you that with trust and perseverance, breakthroughs can come. Moreover, faith deepens your sense of connection to others and to the world around you. It cultivates empathy and compassion by reminding you that everyone is part of a greater story. When your perspective is guided by faith, you become more understanding and patient with others, recognizing their struggles and joys as intertwined with your own. This broader view encourages generosity, kindness, and a commitment to serve beyond your own interest. Faith also changes the way you respond to success and blessings. Instead of taking them for granted or relying solely on your own efforts, faith teaches gratitude and humility. You recognize that good things are gifts and that your life is sustained by a power greater than yourself. This attitude fosters contentment and joy, preventing pride or entitlement from taking root. Finally, faith offers a perspective anchored in hope that transcends even death. It reminds you that life extends beyond this present moment, and that ultimate justice, peace, and restoration are promised. This eternal perspective changes how you live now, encouraging you to focus on what truly matters: love, integrity, and purpose, rather than temporary gain. In all these ways, faith transforms your mindset, enabling you to live with clarity, courage, and joy. It reshapes how you interpret your experiences and guides your decisions. When faith changes your perspective, it changes your life. Faith requires action and trust, because it is not a passive feeling or mere wishful thinking. True faith calls for a response, a commitment to step forward even when the path is unclear and the outcome uncertain. It involves a deep trust that what cannot be seen or fully understood is nevertheless real and powerful, and that by placing your confidence in it, you open the door to transformation and new possibilities. To have faith means to take a step beyond comfort and certainty. It means to act despite doubts, fears, or unanswered questions. This action rooted in faith might be small: a decision to forgive, a willingness to help someone in need, or the courage to face a difficult conversation. Or it might be larger: changing the direction of your life, pursuing a dream, or standing firm in your values when pressured to do otherwise. Whatever form it takes, faith moves you from hesitation to engagement, from passivity to participation. Trust is the foundation upon which these actions rest. Without trust, action driven by faith would be reckless or misguided. Trust is the confident assurance that the unseen realities on which faith depends are trustworthy and good. It is the belief that the power sustaining your faith is loving and wise, working on your behalf even when you cannot perceive it. This trust enables you to surrender control and release the need to understand every detail before moving forward. This relationship between faith, action, and trust is dynamic and ongoing. Faith prompts action and action deepens trust. When you act in faith and see positive results, your trust grows stronger. When challenges arise, your trust is tested and your faith either strengthens through perseverance or falters through doubt. It is a journey of continual growth, where each step taken in faith becomes a building block for a more resilient and mature trust. Faith's call to action often means stepping into the unknown. It asks you to walk by belief, not by sight. This can be difficult, because human nature seeks certainty and clear evidence before making choices. Faith, however, invites you to embrace uncertainty with confidence. It teaches that some of the most important journeys in life begin not with complete understanding but with trust that the path will become clear as you move forward. This trust also brings peace. When you act in faith, trusting in a power greater than yourself, you release anxiety about outcomes beyond your control. You find rest in the assurance that you are not alone, and that there is a purpose behind every step. This peace sustains you through difficulties, and keeps you focused on the journey rather than being overwhelmed by fear or doubt. Faith-driven action is also a demonstration of courage. It requires stepping out despite fears and insecurity. Courage fueled by faith is not the absence of fear but the decision to act in spite of it. It empowers you to face challenges boldly, knowing that your trust in a higher power gives you strength beyond your own. Moreover, faith's requirement for action and trust influences every part of life. It affects how you treat others, how you make decisions, and how you respond to setbacks. Faith invites you to live intentionally, making choices that align with your deepest values and beliefs. It calls you to be patient and persistent, to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow or invisible. Faith also encourages dependence on the unseen rather than the visible. It reminds us that while effort and planning are important, they must be coupled with trust in a guiding presence that ultimately leads the way. This balance between action and trust prevents both reckless impulsiveness and paralyzing fear. Ultimately, faith that requires action and trust leads to transformation. It shapes character, deepens resilience, and opens the door to experiences that would otherwise remain out of reach. When you embrace faith as both a commitment to act and a surrender to trust, you embark on a path of growth, empowerment, and profound fulfillment. This dynamic interplay between doing and trusting is the heartbeat of a life lived fully, and faith leads to new beginnings and lasting joy because it opens the door to a fresh start no matter what has happened in the past. When faith takes root in the heart, it creates an environment where renewal is possible, where mistakes, failures, and regrets no longer define who you are or what your future holds. Instead, faith offers the promise of transformation, the chance to leave behind what is broken and step into a life filled with hope and purpose. New beginnings are born out of the belief that change is possible, that no matter how dark or difficult your circumstances, there is always the opportunity to start again. Faith nurtures this belief by encouraging you to trust in a power greater than yourself, one that can restore what was lost and bring beauty from ashes. This trust ignites courage, inspiring you to release the weight of past disappointments and to embrace the promise of a new chapter. This process of beginning anew is often marked by a sense of liberation. Faith frees you from the chains of guilt, shame, and fear that can hold you captive. It teaches you that your past does not have the final say in your story. Through faith, you find forgiveness not only from others, but most importantly, for yourself. This forgiveness is a powerful step toward healing and renewal. It enables you to move forward with a lightened heart and a renewed spirit. Faith also plants seeds of hope that blossom into lasting joy. Unlike fleeting happiness, which depends on external circumstances, joy rooted in faith is deep and enduring. It flows from the assurance that you are loved, valued, and supported by an unchanging source. This joy remains steady even in the face of challenges, providing comfort and strength. It is a joy that sustains you when times are tough, and celebrates with you when times are good. As you walk in faith, new opportunities begin to emerge. Doors that once seemed closed start to open. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw obstacles. This shift brings a sense of excitement and anticipation for the future. Faith encourages you to dream again, to set new goals, and to pursue a life that aligns with your true purpose. Each step forward becomes a testimony to the power of faith to create fresh start. Moreover, faith transforms the way you experience relationships. New beginnings are not just personal but relational as well. Faith invites reconciliation, healing, and restoration in relationships that may have been broken. It helps you to extend grace, to forgive others, and to build connections founded on love and trust. These restored relationships become sources of joy and support as you continue your journey. Faith also nurtures gratitude, which plays a vital role in sustaining joy. When you trust in a loving and faithful source, you become more aware of the blessings that surround you even in small moments. This awareness cultivates a heart of thankfulness, which amplifies joy and shifts focus away from what is lack. Gratitude turns ordinary days into celebrations of life's goodness. Furthermore, faith invites you to live with a sense of purpose and meaning. New beginnings are not random. They are part of a divine plan that invites you to grow and flourish. This understanding adds depth to your journey and fills your life with significance. Knowing that your steps are guided by a higher purpose brings joy that transcends temporary pleasures. Lastly, faith offers the ultimate promise of eternal joy. It assures you that the new beginnings experienced in this life are just the beginning of a greater transformation that extends beyond time. This hope of everlasting joy inspires perseverance and faithfulness, encouraging you to live with courage and hope, no matter the trials you face. In these ways, faith leads to new beginnings and lasting joy. It breaks the chains of the past, ignites hope for the future, restores relationships, and fills the heart with gratitude and purpose. Through faith, life becomes a continual journey of renewal and celebration, anchored in a joy that endures forever.